National Education Forum calling. Let your voice be heard on education in Ghana. Send your input to the National Education Forum Planning Committee via nef@moe.gov.gh. National Education Forum, transforming education. Let's build Ghana together.
We recall that His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, in his first 100-day social contract with the people of Ghana, he made mention on the need to convene a national consultative conference on education to build consensus on the needed improvements to the sector. To this end, he named an 8-member committee which was tasked to plan this conference. And subsequently, the Honorable Minister, Honorable Harry Naidisu, he did inaugurate this committee right here in this hall. And today, we are privileged to have with us the committee led by its chairman to address the media. So once again, you are warmly welcome. I would quickly introduce management of the Ministry of Education is present, led by the Chief Director, Mrs. Mamle Andrews. Thank you very much. So, Chairman, without much ado, I will yield the floor to you to address members of the media who were invited to cover today's deliberations. Thank you very much, Chairman.
The Chief Director, ladies and gentlemen of the press, today being a special day, I think I have to start by wishing all of you happy Valentine without chocolates, though. Yeah, just as the introduction indicated, our committee, 8-member committee, started work on the 7th of this month. Bearing in mind that we have very short time, we had to work day and night, at times finishing around 2 a.m. just to help us meet the target. We have been able to decide what the theme of the National Forum should be. We have also identified sub-themes and worked out the plan. And so we thought today we should meet you and brief the press so that Ghanaians will know what is in it for us all. The theme for the conference is transforming education for a sustainable future. Transforming education for a sustainable future. We arrived at this theme interrogating the strategic plan 2018 to 2030, looking at the manifesto of the National Democratic Congress, and then talking to other people, experienced people in the country. And so we thought that the theme, transforming education for a sustainable future, provides a broader framework within which our interrogation of issues at the forum will be achieved. Under this, and still referencing the manifesto committee, the NDC manifesto, we came out with 5 key pillars. And these 5 key pillars were arrived at looking at the current state of our educational system, the challenges associated with the system. And so we thought pillar 1 should address issues of infrastructure. Infrastructure, we're looking at physical infrastructure and then ICT, IT infrastructure. Then we also looked at quality issues. And so the second pillar around which discussions will revolve is quality education provision. In other words, educational quality provision. Here, we expect that stakeholders will engage with this pillar within the context of our basic education, our secondary education, tertiary education, TVET, with issues like inclusivity cutting across. Then we have the third pillar. The pillar looks at regulation, accountability, and governance. Regulation, because we realize that if institutions, educational institutions, are not regulated, if they are not guided, if we don't have a frame within which they should operate, then meeting the target or the purpose for which they are set up cannot be fulfilled. Related to this is accountability. That if people in heading educational institutions, if teachers teaching, if students themselves, if supervisors, if directors of education do not internalize the principle of accountability, investment in education would not meet the purpose for which the investment is made. And so we have that. And the third one is governance. Governance, because if we do not have strong functional systems that will support the accomplishment, the process of accomplishing tasks, we cannot achieve anything. If we do not have a strong school management committee that will work in the interest of the school, if we do not have a strong governing board that will work in the interest of the secondary school or TVET, if we do not have a functional governing council that will operate in the interest of the nation, in the interest of the institution, in the interest of the learner, we cannot achieve anything. So we have the third one being regulation, accountability, and then governance. Then we also ask the big question, if we have all these and we do not have the fund, where do we go? And so we have the fourth pillar being education financing. And financing will be looking at how do we meet the needs of learners, especially if we reference the senior high school, free senior high school. How do we ensure that we sustain funding of the secondary school so quality, equity within the context of access or access indexed quality and equity are achieved? How do we ensure that we diversify funding sources so that the challenge on government in terms of meeting the demands, funding demands, could be met? How do we ensure that we remove waste from the system so the monies meant for promoting teaching and learning really are maximized by those who have to manage that? So all these things will be interrogated at the forum under pillar 4, education financing. Then lastly, we noted that evidence is very critical in policy formulation. And therefore, we agreed to make the fifth pillar focus on research and data. In all our planning issues, in all our policies, we need data, and reliable ones, of course. And so we have made a fifth pillar, research and data. So ladies and gentlemen, the theme, I recap, is transforming education for a sustainable future. And these will be interrogated within 5 key pillars infrastructure, quality education provision, regulation, accountability, and governance, research and data, and then the last one, education financing. Then we came to the next stage. We've been able to identify a theme for the forum. We've been able to identify sub-themes or pillars for the forum. How do we get speakers? And so we looked around the diaspora and then from amongst us as Ghanaians, and we identified two key note speakers, Ghanaians resident abroad who are experts in various aspects of education. One is coming from Australia. He's in the person of one Professor Agbenyega from Australia. He will be giving us the first keynote on the theme, transforming education for a sustainable future. Then the second one is from UK, and he is going to look at the theme within the context of teaching and learning. So these two, they have responded, they've confirmed that they are coming. And one thing that I need to commend them for is that both said, in the interest of Ghana's development and in appreciation for what His Excellency President John Dramani has done by opening up this discussion to diverse people, they are coming without any cost to Ghana. So they are taking everything, they are taking care of that. And I think it's something we need to commend them for. Aside, we have sub-themes, and we have also identified a number of people across the country who will be leading breakout sessions. And those ones, they are many, so I will not go into specifics. Then the next question is, how are you organizing this? What is the model? After thinking through the rationale behind the forum, which basically seeks to get Ghanaians own whatever educational policy the government comes out with, we saw that it would be better if we moved down from national to the zonal level. And so apart from the national engagement, we've also planned zonal engagements. We've divided the country into three. We have northern zone, the middle zone, and then the southern zone. Within these zones, we have outlined programs through which we would engage the stakeholders. We have Ho, including Volta and Uti. On 18th February, the zonal engagement will be held in Ho. 19th February. Yeah, it will be held in Ho. After that, we have 21st February, we will have Accra. Accra comprising Greater Accra and Eastern. Theirs will be held. And then Cape Coast, comprising Western and Central, would be held. And those will be at the University of Cape Coast. Then we have Bolga, comprising Upper East and Northeast. Theirs will be on 24th February. Then Sunyani, comprising Western North, Bono, Ahafo, Bono East, also on 24th February. Tamale, where we will have Upper West, Savannah, and Northern, theirs will be on 25th February. So this will be the zonal engagement. And the zonal engagement will come after the launch of the program, which will take place in Ho, specifically at Volta Serene, where His Excellency John Dramani Mahama would be launching the program formally. Then when we've done all these, there would be a validation forum or validation conference where key issues emerging from the stakeholder engagement will be presented to other stakeholders, majority of them being development partners, to look at the issues coming from the engagement, which of them fall within their plan to provide support. As we all know, education is such that no government can single-handedly meet the cost, especially when the emphasis is on quality education. Quality education provision is very costly, and so we need support. And so we'll use that validation workshop to engage development partners. It will also be used to engage stakeholders to come out and then accept whatever implementation decision that will come out of the engagement, to accept, to let us know that yes, this is exactly what the zonal engagement brought up, and so we are with you, or we are not with you, we need a change. So at the end of the day, we would have asked 3 key questions. What is going on well with the current system of education? What is not going on well with the current system of education? What can we do as a nation to ensure that the educational system is improved to benefit the young ones who are the future of our nation, the young ones who are the backbone of our nation, the young ones who will be replacing us, the old, as we retire from service. We need quality people, and that can be achieved only when we provide them with quality education within the context of equity. We need quality people who would develop quality issues, come out holistically developed. The heart, balancing the heart with the head and the hand, so that we get the Ghanaian we want. This is all that we aim at doing. Then the next question will be, so in all these, what have you done to ensure that the public becomes aware of what is happening? One of the things that we have done is this engagement that we are having. Aside, we've also set up an online engagement where individuals, particularly the young ones, are responding. In fact, yesterday I got information that over 1,000 people have submitted memos on the 5 key pillars. 1,000 people have done that. We've also set up a virtual engagement for those who will not be able to attend the launch, so they will engage with us. This is what we have done. In conclusion, you may ask, so what is the expected outcome of this? At the end of the engagement, both national and then zonal, we expect that a consensus document summarizing stakeholder discussions and recommendations would have been developed. We also expect that thematic action plan for implementing whatever reforms that will be coming out of the engagement would have been decided on firmly. And then lastly, that would draft a framework for the national education policy. Ladies and gentlemen, on this note, I want to say a very big thank you to the Honorable Minister, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, the Chief Director, and her team for the support that they have given us to date. Above all, we thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for the trust. that he has reposed in us. We will never fail him, we will never fail Ghana.
Prof, just on a point of clarity. When you look at the various items that you have selected in terms of the various pillars, I am yet to hear anything on the welfare of the teacher. Where is the teacher situated? That is one. And also, at what levels of your discussion are you going to involve parents? Where are you going to put the parents? Then finally, you did mention infrastructure. You are an educationist. What have you seen? What have you realized on the few engagements that you have done? Thank you very much.
The welfare of the teacher sits across all the 5 pillars. And that is why in the NDC manifesto, the NDC came out with a policy proposal to set up what it terms teacher dabre, where the teacher can lay his or her head, and that is infrastructure. And the teacher dabre, one thing that is good with that is that His Excellency says it's a rule. Whoever comes into the country, if you are donating any money towards building a classroom or a school, you must make sure that you have made provision for a teacher's accommodation there. So infrastructure, teacher welfare comes there. You talk about education quality provision. If you have a teacher in the classroom who has to teach ICT without the necessary equipment, definitely that teacher is placed in a very bad position as far as professionalism is concerned. And so his or her professional welfare is not addressed. And thus, we hope the deliberations will address that for the teacher. You come to education financing. Education financing, particularly teachers who work in the rural areas. If you followed His Excellency's pre-election campaign, one of the things he said was that there was a provision that had been on the table for a very long time, and that it was going to be activated, and that is certain percentage of money paid to teachers who work in the rural context. This has financial implications, and so the teacher welfare comes in here when it comes to the discourse of education financing. Regulation, accountability, and governance. If teachers operate in a system where the system is discriminatory, teacher welfare is not promoted. And that calls for governance, good governance. When systems are working, teachers are working well from the lens of the school, then the teacher's welfare can be thought of. You come to research and data. When we want to know the number of teachers, how much time do they spend in the classroom focusing on learning, you need data. And that also has something to do with teacher welfare. It is only when you have the right data that you can plan to ensure that the teacher's time is used appropriately and rewarded appropriately. So teacher welfare hinges. It's a cross-cutting issue in all that you said. The next one was provision of parents' engagement. If you take the national level engagement and then the zonal ones, parents are playing a very key role in that. In fact, in whole, we have panel discussions that will involve parents, involve students, involve parents. So we have planned the thing in such a way that every person, every category of people, including parents, will have their voice heard. That one is there. Then the last one. And from my own experience, I lecture at the University of Cape Coast. My program is postgraduate, so I don't have much challenge. But when I move around, when I was a pro-vice chancellor, and see lecturers who are handling over 400 students, 400 with the lecture hall packed to the extent that at times even breathing in air becomes challenging because of the packed environment. When I see lecturers who do not have offices to work, then it should tell you that infrastructure challenges are key. At the University of Cape Coast, I can point out a number of uncompleted projects that the university grapples with. So all these things, from my own experience, the infrastructure issue is very practical, and I'm very sure that you know it yourself. Was that TV3?
Yes, Prof.
Oh yeah, but you have done a lot of things yourself. I've seen a lot of that. Yeah, so it is real.
So once again, on behalf of the Ministry of Education, we wish to thank each and every one of you, our highly esteemed stakeholders, the media. We are most grateful that you honored our invitation on those shots. And you are present here to cover. I hope that the publicity that we deserve from this program will be generated. Thank you all once again.
National Education Forum calling. Let your voice be heard on education in Ghana. Send your inputs to the National Education Forum Planning Committee via nef@moe.gov.gh. National Education Forum, transforming education. Let's build Ghana together.